Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be going over the buffed gloves and slap battles. These buffs actually affected some of the worst gloves and slap battles. So yeah, we'll be going over it in today's video. So the first buff for Engineer is that the cooldown got a very big decrease, at least a pretty good one. As you can see, this cooldown has gotten shorter, so now you can place down more sentries. So it's not too good. So if you place the first one down, it goes fast. But if you place the second one, then the cooldown's a little bit slower. But still, it can place down a lot more sentries fast. So for Shard users, Shard got I guess an okay buff. It didn't get like too much of a good buff. But now the Shard has wider range and the cooldown has been nerfed to 9 seconds to 6 seconds, which is a 3-second difference. I still feel like this is probably one of the worst gloves and slap battles, so unless if it gets a huge rework, I'm still gonna call this bad. Next we have Dice. Now I heard this from somebody, but they said it used to be 9 to 90 power, or 5 to 90 power, and now it's 5 to 100 power, so I guess it's a pretty big difference. I mean, if you think about it, plus 10 power makes a pretty big difference. And that goes for Bull. Bull used to have 60 power and now has 70 power. But should you really use it? I guess you could. I mean, it has 10 more power, so you'll probably have a bigger chance of hitting them off the edge. So Bubble got a lot more nerfs, or a lot of buffs, you could say. I keep saying nerfs. Like, this one got buffed, but still. Bubble, the buffs were, it used to have like a few, like, maybe 9 power, then it got nerfed to 7, buffed to 7, and then buffed to 6, and then buffed to 5 for the cooldown. So, I guess you could say that's a pretty okay buff. I wouldn't say it's still, like, overpowered. Again, this glove needs a rework, because it's still kind of bad, but still. It's a lot faster, and you can shoot a lot more bubbles. Moving on to Defense Glove, the cooldown used to be 35, and now it's 27. For Potato Glove users, when it first released, it used to be a 30 before you exploded. So if you got hit by the Potato Glove, you have 30 seconds to pass it on. But now it got it like halved its cooldown, and now it's 15 to make it a little bit more intense and OP. I feel like this was a pretty big nerf, so use Potato if you can now. Moving on to Adios, this got a pretty small buff. It used to be 50 power, now it's 55. So Duelist actually got a pretty big buff. So let's say you have Duelist glove and you challenge someone to a duel. The Duelist owner, the person who has the Duelist glove equipped and sent you to its arena, it used to have 50 power. Now it has 70 power, almost 100 power. So now you get a lot more power. I think these buffs were in the balance changes. I think this is when Slapple Island was released, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, moving to Phantom. What a pretty underrated glove that I really like. It kind of looks like my glove. It's black and red, so yeah. It has the eye in it. Anyways, off topic. The cooldown for this glove used to be 8 seconds, and now it's 6 seconds. Now, obviously, we can't forget about Killstreak. This just got a big buff. This buff, first, it has a new stand, like it has horns coming out of the stand, but also, you can now move in time stop. The glove didn't really change except for the time stop mechanic, so now you can move in time stop above 10 kills. For male, this got a pretty small buff. It used to be 50 power, now it's 54. For Jupiter, it has a 20%, the force got 20% stronger, which means you will take less knockback. But I don't know if it's still worth it, but still, I guess you could say it's pretty worth it. Alright, so Bob got a pretty big buff, I guess you could say. You could say that it got nerfed because of you can counter it now, but I guess it's a pretty small buff. I still feel like it's more nerfed than buffed. But this is about the gloves that have been buffed. So we are going to say this has been buffed slightly. Your screen is a lot darker now, so you can't really see much. So if you're trying to get to the Cube of Death and you're walking on the planks, then you can't really see it well, and most likely you'll fall off. For the Jet Glove, again, this is another reworked glove that was disabled for quite a time. Now it's renamed Jet. It used to be Pilot Glove. It had completely different what should you call it? The ability. but now it has a missile that is way more accurate. The old pilot glove, the slaps used to be a lot more inaccurate, so you couldn't really hit anyone, and it was a pretty useless glove. But now the jet and the missile are way more accurate now, so you have a bigger chance of hitting the person off the ledge. And for this final buff, it is pretty small, but still we'll go over it. The Conveyor ability. Now, once you slap someone, the Conveyor speed used to be 30, so like it would probably be like, yeah. It's like, it works like a conveyor, so it used to be 30 speed, and now it's 35, so you go a little bit faster than last time, and you'll probably have a harder time recovering from it. But anyways, guys, what do you think about these buffs? I think that Bubble and Shard should definitely get a huge buff, because even though they had small buffs, I still feel like they aren't good enough, or at the point they're just good. But yeah, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know it in the comments. But anyways, that will do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I post daily slap battles content, so if that's something you're interested to, then subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Adios. Mi amigo.